Okay, in this video, we're still talking about solids. So if we remember their properties, we have our different solids. They have definite shape and definite volume. Remember, according to kinetic molecular theory, all matter is moving. So what happens when a solid starts to vibrate more quickly? So if our solid starts to vibrate more quickly, we're gaining more energy, and what we're going to actually see is a phase change. A phase just means that you're transitioning from one state of matter to another. Now, a phase change is when a substance changes its physical identity but not its chemical identity. So, this physical change is just changing how it may look, its texture, but it's not changing its chemical makeup for it. So, can you think of any phase changes off the top of your head? Okay, so you might be picturing something bubbling as a phase change for it, like boiling water. That's awesome. So, the first phase change we're going to talk about is the ones that come from our kinetic energy of motion that we talked about. So, as our solid particles begin to vibrate more rapidly, they start to lose their shape and they're going to be transitioning to a liquid. So, if we have our solid particle right here, it's starting to vibrate more quickly, it's starting to get more disorganized, meaning that it's now going to lose its definite shape, so it's going to have an indefinite shape. Now, as it transitions to its liquid, we'll call this process melting, which you probably already know. If you put ice cubes into your soda, your iced coffee, you'll notice that it does melt and it changes the form from solid water to liquid water. So if we see that we have our solid water, it's transitioning now to our liquid water. So it not only loses its shape, but it begins to flow, whereas solids were not flowing. It also gains energy. It has to go from this rigid shape to this more free flowing shape here. So can anybody think what's the opposite of melting? Well, you're going to do the reverse process. So we're going to be taking something that's more disorganized like our liquid and making it more rigid like our solid. And we're going to see that it's freezing. So when we look at freezing, we notice that they're actually losing energy, and that's why it's becoming more rigid in its structure and more organized as a product of it. So at this time, you might want to pause the video and come back and do your lesson check. You're just deciding whether it's true or false for each of these. So true or false, thanks for coming back. Solids do not move and are rigid in their shape. This would be false. We'll see that solids do move. They are vibrating slightly for it. True or false? During melting, solid particles gain energy. That's true. That's what takes them from their rigid shape to a more flowing shape. True or false? An amorphous solid is a synonym for crystal lattice. So remember, synonym in our English classes means the same. So that's actually false. If it said antonym, meaning the opposite, that would work because remember, an amorphous is randomly ordered. So disordered versus a crystal lattice, which is a repeating 3D solid. True or false? Graphite is an allotrope of carbon. That is true. And then true or false? Solids have definite shapes and volumes. That is also true. So thanks for watching as we went through the phase changes for solids and our lesson check.